Before the Olympian gods ruled the heavens, before Zeus hurled lightning from the skies, the universe belonged to older powers, ancient beings, vast, primordial, immortal, the Titans. And at the heart of their empire stood a king who had once overthrown his own father, only to hear a prophecy that would destroy him. A prophecy that one day his own child would do the same. This is the story of the Titanomachy, the 10-year war that shattered the cosmos, brought down the Titans, and gave birth to the reign of Olympus. Long before the Age of Heroes, before mankind even understood the names of the gods, the world was ruled by the children of earth and sky. Gaia, the earth itself, and Uranus, the endless sky. From their union came the Titans, colossal divine beings tied to the foundations of existence itself. Among them rose one Titan above all others, Cronus. But Cronus did not inherit power peacefully. His father, Uranus, feared his own children. Some myths claim he imprisoned them deep within the earth, buried in darkness beneath Gaia's surface. Their suffering enraged Gaia, and she turned to her children for vengeance. Only Cronus answered. Armed with a sickle forged by Gaia herself, Cronus ambushed Uranus beneath the night sky, and with one brutal strike, he overthrew his father. The first divine coup had begun. Cronus became ruler of the cosmos, king of the Titans, lord of heaven and earth. And for a time, the world prospered. Greek poets would later describe this as a golden age. Humanity lived without war, suffering, or labor. The earth gave freely. Death came gently. There was peace beneath the rule of Cronus. But beneath that peace lived fear, because prophecies never die in Greek myth. Just as Uranus had once warned Cronus that he too would fall to his own child, Cronus became consumed by paranoia. Every cry of a newborn became a threat. Every child a future assassin. His queen, Rhea, gave birth to 6 children, and one by one, Cronus devoured them. These children were Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, Poseidon, all swallowed whole. Not out of hatred, but terror. Cronus was not merely cruel. He was trapped inside the same cycle of fear that had destroyed his father before him. And then, Rhea became pregnant once more. The child would be called Zeus. Rhea could not bear to lose another child. While Cronus ruled from his throne, believing himself master of fate, Rhea secretly journeyed to the island of Crete. There, hidden within a cave beneath the mountains, she gave birth to her youngest son, Zeus. But the child could not remain hidden forever, so Rhea devised a deception worthy of the Titans themselves. She wrapped a stone in infant cloth and presented it to Cronus as though it were the newborn child. And Cronus, blinded by fear, swallowed the stone without question. The king of the Titans believed destiny had been defeated, but destiny was already growing in secret. Far from the throne of Cronus, Zeus was raised in hiding. According to later traditions, divine attendants guarded the cave, while armored warriors clashed their spears against shields to drown out the cries of the infant god. As Zeus grew, so did his ambition. Unlike Cronus, Zeus did not merely want survival. He wanted power. He wanted the throne of heaven itself. And eventually, he returned. Different ancient sources describe the moment differently. In many versions, Zeus receives help from the Titaness Metis, who gives Cronus a potion forcing him to disgorge the children he had swallowed. One by one, the lost gods emerged back into the light. The siblings of Zeus had returned, and with them came war. The conflict that followed would become known as Titanomachy, the War of the Titans. For 10 years, the universe itself became a battlefield. On one side stood the Titans, ancient rulers of the cosmos, led by Cronus from Mount Othrys. On the other stood the younger gods, later known as the Olympians, led by Zeus from the heights of Olympus. This was not a war between good and evil. It was a war between generations, between old order and new ambition. Many titans fought beside Cronus out of loyalty, not cruelty. Some had helped shape the world itself. They represented cosmic stability, ancient law, and primordial power. But Zeus and the Olympians represented something new, a younger, more human kind of divinity, emotional, volatile, ambitious. And neither side could win. For an entire decade, the war raged without conclusion. The heavens shook with fire and storms. Seas crashed against the edges of the earth. Mountains split apart beneath divine violence. Then Zeus learned a terrible truth. Deep within the abyss of Tartarus were imprisoned beings older and more monstrous than the Titans themselves. The Cyclopes and the Hecatonchires, the 100-handed ones. They had once been cast into darkness by Uranos and abandoned there for ages, where Cronus had continued the cruelty of his father. Zeus chose differently. He freed them, and in doing so, he changed the course of the war forever. The Cyclopes forged weapons for the young gods. For Zeus, the thunderbolt. For Poseidon, the trident. For Hades, the helm of invisibility. The balance of power had shifted. The age of the Titans was beginning to die. The final battles of the Titanomachy were catastrophic. Ancient Greek poets describe a universe collapsing under divine warfare. Lightning tore through the sky without end. The oceans boiled. Forests burned. The earth screamed beneath the footsteps of immortals. And at the center of it all stood Zeus. No longer the hidden child of prophecy, but a conqueror. Armed with the thunderbolt, Zeus unleashed storms powerful enough to shake heaven and earth alike. The 100-handed ones hurled mountains against the Titans in endless volleys of stone. One by one, the old rulers fell. Cronus was defeated, the Titan armies shattered, and the ancient gods who had once ruled creation were dragged into the depths of Tartarus. There, beyond the reach of sunlight, the defeated Titans were imprisoned behind bronze gates. The 100-handed ones became their eternal guards. But not all Titans shared the same fate. Some remained neutral during the war, Others sided with Zeus. Prometheus, for example, would later become one of the most important allies and enemies of Olympus. And even in victory, Zeus inherited something dangerous. The same throne that had corrupted Uranus. The same throne that had consumed Cronus with fear. The cycle was not truly broken. It had only changed hands.